I was talking to Mr. Dan Elweiler here, President of Sterling Financial Advisors. Welcome back, sir.
Good to see you, Ken.
He was away and doing all kinds of different things, and we have a good topic today, the effect of volatility on returns, how it impacts your retirement, and I think it's a good topic mainly because we've seen this year some volatility, and you know when we talk about that, we talk about the Dow and NASDAQ, those sort of things.
Well, the market,
there's other as well.
The market went up to about 26.5. It's back down to 24.5, give or take on the day. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting. We've done some analysis over the last 15, 18 years of returns on the market. And I think we talked about, I sent you a slide, I think it's up on the screen. And I think that people, if you look at the returns, I highlighted the years that we had a positive return over 15%. Those are in green. Okay. So the returns that came in over 15% are in greens. Any losses over 7% are in the kind of red. Okay, so there was only 4 years where the losses was more than 7%, and 6 years where it was above 15%. Okay, and over that period of time, you can see that I think that it shows that almost a 7% return over those last 17 years.
And that would be a 7% average per year when you calculate it all out?
Yeah, compounding, going up and down. You know, I mean, you can see that, and this is based on a $500,000 investment. You know,
wow.
And you can see on the screen that, you know, in 2008 we ended up losing, you know, $100,000 of our, you know,
right.
At the end of that
this
17.
Is a great chart, though.
And I'm also showing that somebody who needed $2,000 a month of income. Okay, so they're withdrawing $2,000 a month of income. And you can see I've plugged in a 2% cost of living increase. So the first year they took out $24,000. The next year they took out $24,480. The next year they took out $24,970. And so if they took a 2% cost of living adjustment over the last 17 years, at the end of they'd be taking out $33,000.
Okay. Right.
Well, your balance would be $71,000 at the end of that 17 years because you continue to take out money in the down years.
Yes.
So
I understand.
So it really affects that. What's interesting is, and the next slide will kind of point that out. What I did was just flip the returns. Okay. So if you just flip the returns, so you take 2000 and 2001, 2002 and put them at the end, and you take 2017 and put them at the start, you just flip the returns. The difference is $696,000.
That's amazing.
It is. And it points out that if you have losses at the beginning of your retirement, it's much different than you have losses at the end of your retirement.
That is very interesting.
Because you can see the ending value continues to grow until those, you know, 4 years. But
wow, that is really, that's amazing. So the numbers are all the same.
They're all the same. You look at the average, 6.91 average, okay? And the standard deviation's the same. Everything's the same. It's just you flip the order of the returns.
Well, you have talked about, you know, before, and a lot of the strategies that you use to sit down with people, that when you lose something, you know, let's say like back in 2008, let's just say hypothetically, you lost 25%. Well, it now takes you 50%.
50% to get back to where you were.
Right.
Exactly. And so if you ended up losing, using your scenario, you lost 50%. It takes 100% to get back. You know? It's not 50-50. Well, I lost 50 and I made 50.
Right.
Because you're only making 50% on the 50%.
Wow.
But it's really interesting. I think this points out an interesting fact that depending upon when those losses occur in your retirement, will affect
Wow.
the balance that you have left over.
Yeah.
And so if you have a big loss in the beginning, it's much different than you have a big loss at the end. And
Very
so that's why
interesting.
it's so critical in your planning process. Don't expose your money to too much risk, depending upon your situation.
Now, you also sent me this page here, Risk Analyze. Is this a website people can go to?
No, this is actually a software program that we actually it's called Riskalyze.
Okay.
And what this does is it's kind of like risk tolerance test.
Okay.
We can kind of determine how your risk tolerance is, and we take a little test in the office. And when you go to the eye doctor, he says, "Does this look good or does this look good?" Well, okay, does this one look good or does this one look? That's kind of what this does. Are you willing to lose this much in order to make this much? Or are you willing to lose this much in order to make? And we kind of funnel it down, and we come up with a risk analysis score. In this particular situation, their risk analysis was 27. So they didn't want to risk a whole lot. That goes from 1 to 100. Okay. So the S&P index, has a risk score of 73. Okay. There it's 27. Then what we do is we take their portfolio and we stick their portfolio into this analyzer, and they came out with a risk score of 65.
Wow. So now
So they didn't realize how much exposure they had because their risk score is 27.
Very interesting.
And so they've either got to adjust that, so we were able to set up a customized personal portfolio that came in at a 24. So we kind of needed to make some allocation changes to match their risk tolerance with what their portfolio really was.
That is cool. I mean, it's eye-opening, I would say, to a lot of people.
Well, you look up there, and somebody that has a risk score of 22 doesn't want to be aggressive. Okay? And somebody who is at 82 doesn't want to be moderate. So we can kind of analyze where they are right now and match that with really the risk tolerance going forward, and it helps give them a little bit more peace of mind in setting up their income plan and their investments, and a lot of different things come into this.
Are people more, just a hypothetical question, are people that are maybe more adventurous in life take more of a risk? People that are like, well, we still, we're 70 years old, we still like to do skydiving and stuff like that. I've always wondered that. Or are they more like just the opposite?
Well,
have you noticed that?
People, in regards to finances, the older they get, they tend to... It's interesting. Most couples have an aggressive spouse and one is a conservative spouse. And they usually balance each other out. So sometimes it will be beneficial to have two that are a little bit more conservative, but as people get older, they, at least in their financial areas, they kind of take a little bit less risk depending upon how, if you've got several $1 million and you lose $1 million, you're still going to be okay. But if you end up having 500,000 and you lose 200,000, it impacts you much more significantly. So, depending upon the assets we have will depend upon how much, risk that we want to take. But generally, as people grow older, they tend to get a little bit more conservative. And which is a good thing. Which is a good thing, because going forward, it's critical. If you're planning on retiring, if you retired in 2007, and then we had that big market crash in 2008, that affected your retirement tremendously. Now, it's unfortunate, but a lot of younger people, since they've graduated from high school, have only experienced a bull market.
You're right.
For the last 9 years, they just figure the market continues to go up. They've never gone through those challenging years that you and I have seen that affects people tremendously.
That's very true.
So, we're happy to do a risk analysis for people if they come in. I think I mentioned that for the first 10 people that want to call in, we'll do it for free. And they can call our office, and we'll just kind of do a little risk analysis for where they are right now versus where their risk tolerance really is. And,
Yeah.
and so we do that for free for them, and if they would like to call into our office and set up a time to come in.
All right, very good. The number's on the screen, 949-859-8900. And all the good folks at Sterling Financial are just right up there in Mission Viejo.
Right next to the Social Security office.
Yeah.
Same street. We're about in the High Point partners.
Not far away at all.
Kaiser is there, and very close.
Yeah, good people there, and I think this is great.
Yeah,
this is a very good tool.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Welcome
Good to
back.
see you.
We'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Any seminars quickly coming up?
We've got some. Yeah, we had one last night. We've got one on Monday and Tuesday, I think, for next week at Ruth Chris Restaurant.
Okay.
Okay. They can give us a call, and if they'd like to come, just call the office, and we'll get them scheduled.
All right. Very good.
If we've got space, we
That's
do
true.
fill up.
That's true.
So.
They do fill up. All right. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We'll
Ken.
be right back.
All right.